Hi you guys, and welcome. This is Alan Dennis with the Real Otaku Gamer, and I'm here talking with Ed 50Yeeen, Garcia, and I'm just going to ask him a few questions. You know, he's a really good Tekken player. He plays a lot of fighting games. He goes to a lot of majors, and he places in the top 8 most of the time for Tekken, at least, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Ed, what got you into gaming in the first place?
Well, I always been a fan of games. I started with Nintendo, just like pretty much everybody else, and I've been playing games ever since. I mostly play fighting games, and I used to play Metal Gear Online. It's like one of my main games, and I played that more than I did Tekken at one point because the scene here for Tekken was like really dead. So I just played that on the side until Tekken Tag 2 came out. So that's what I've been playing. Tag 2 is like my main game right now, so I focus on my time on.
What made you become pro?
I started tournaments actually. I heard a tournament on the radio. It was if you're from Cleveland, Jammin' 92.3. It was like pop and like top 20 hits on the radio, and they advertised a Tekken 3 tournament. I'm like, oh man, I was like, I gotta check this out, and I won it. I won the tournament, and then they had a regional from all the stores where they had all the winners of all the tournaments come, and I went to it, and I got second. I'm like, man, I lost because I thought I was like the best person, and I was like, that made me want to get better at the game. And I've been I've been to a ton of majors, and I won like locals and stuff. And the goal is to win a major, and I qualified for nationals, and since Tag 2's been out, I got top 8 at like 2 majors, and I place consistently here at Console Combat. But today I had like a bad day, but it's all good. I learned a lot from playing today. So.
Okay, next question. A lot of fighting game community thinks that stick is better than pad. What is your view on it? It just depends on the person?
It depends, you know, what game you play. You can play any fighting game on it. You can use a stick or a pad. Like, I know people are like, oh, you know, if you want to play the best, like they talk about like going to SBO. Because SBO is all, it's all on the stick. It's all on arcade, and they don't have pad ports. So if you're playing like Street Fighter maybe, or like Tekken, I don't remember last time I was going to SBO for Tag 2 anyway. Like all I heard was Korea. It was like the only country. But most of our top players play pad. Almost all, like 90% of them play. So I mean, you can play on whatever you're comfortable with. The only thing I have a problem with if you're playing a pad is binding your buttons. Like that's like, no offense, but that seems like super scrubby. Everyone's like, oh, you know, I have the option to do it at home, so I do it. But when you go to a tournament, you're not at home anymore. And it's up to the TOs, you know, whether they allow that rule or not. It's okay on some games to bind one button at the top, but when you start binding multiple buttons, that like affects execution. Like, say I'm playing and I don't set my buttons, you can hit one button to hit 2 buttons. And then there's room for error for me because I gotta hit them both. And then you just hit, oh, I hit the shoulder button, and then you win. You're able to do it. You know, that could have cost me the match. Fuck it up.
Okay, right now, other than yourself, who do you want to fight in like the next major? Are there any?
In Tekken, there's a lot. I want to play all the top players. Like, I went to Yumacon this past, like what is it, beginning of November? Yeah, yeah, he was there, and like a lot of the good players traveled to MLG Dallas, which is because the Koreans came and like they had all of the really good Tekken players there. But it was kind of like late notice, and I know like not every top player was there, but you know a good amount of them were, and they all went there to MLG because the Koreans were coming. You know, that's like your chance to play these guys, and I didn't get to go. It was such a late notice, but my plan, I wanted to play them. I want to play at the next major. I was talking to Matt that runs Console Combat, and he wanted me to go to NEC, but I have school. Like I have finals it's that weekend before finals, and I'm not about to miss school. Just so I love playing games, but that's my priority, school. So I'm gonna go to a final round instead, which is in March, and it's part of that Tekken circuit that they're doing. So they have those 3 tournaments, like that's NEC, final round, and then final EVO. So I'm gonna try to go to final round. My goal is to get top 5. Not top 8. I want to get top 5 at the tournament. I feel like, you know, if I stick with my main are Mishimas. So if I stick with them, because I've been playing a lot of different characters lately. You know, I've played almost every character in the game. So I'm gonna stick with Mishimas all the way up until March. Like closer to final round, I'm gonna use them. Like like just for a month straight. I'm not gonna switch any. I only play the other characters so that I can get familiar with them. You know, but I feel like today, like my game was off, my execution was off, but it's all good. You know, and it's not like I lost like some scrubs or something. I actually lost good people. So there's no problem with that.
Okay. Now since we're talking Tekken, who are your favorite characters? I know, of course, the Mishimas are.
Yeah.
But who specifically? Let them know. I know.
Kazuya is my favorite character in the Tekken series. Kazuya and Jin.
Who do you think is top?
Right now, I think Hachi's the best character because he has tools for every situation, and he has down back too. It's down back and right punch, and it does a ton of damage. And if you're not blocking that, it's just chipping away at your life, and it's like a huge chunk. It's not even a safe low, but it's worth the risk of doing it because it does so much damage and leads to a mix-up. He's so dangerous because now his lows are good, so now he forces you to duck. So it's like, oh, you do your crown stance mix up. Is he gonna down back to me, or he's gonna, he's got so many options now that are scary. Because before on Tekken 6, you kind of stand there because all his lows suck. So like, he had nothing to be afraid of. You could just literally stand against Heihachi and block and beat him. It was like really hard to open people up with Heihachi. Like he had a really good homing move. So homing moves they track both ways. So it's just back four. His back four tracks both ways. But that's his only pressure really. And he has the usual Mishima stuff like forward four, the electric of course. It's like the best. Like the thing with Mishimas, they have the best move in the game. The electrical got this, but it's also their weakness because people abuse it. So like they're just bent on just doing electrics. And electrics you can duck. You're not gonna duck on reaction, but people fall into a pattern where they're like electric, electric, electric every time they get next to you. Then you'll get used to he's gonna electric me. I'll just hold down and block and duck it. You know what I mean? So, Heihachi's definitely number one, but Koreans say otherwise because they separated from S, A+, A- to B tier. So there's not really a C or D tier, like really, everyone's like an A tier. And then the S tier is Nina, Bruce, and Devil Kazuya. Devil Kazuya, he loses moves. So I don't know if I would put him in the S tier. I would put Heihachi in the S tier. Just for that fact alone, just because of his down back too, it's so scary now. And it's hard to step electrics on this game. Like dash electrics, if you step it, sometimes you get hit. So it's not like Tekken 6, you step it, you're stepping it, and you're gonna probably hit him. They made a mistake, or you made the right guess. So Heihachi's number one, I feel. And I think a lot of people would agree with me. He's number one.
Okay, what games are you looking for in the future? Are you looking forward to Blaze Blue? Or are you looking forward to next?
Blaze Blue, I played the first one and I didn't really like it that much. I liked how it looked, because it looked like really good, but Blaze Blue, I don't know if I'll get into it, but knowing me, I play everything at least one time, so I'll probably give it a chance, because maybe I hated the other ones that came out, and I might like this one. But like right now, I'm focusing on Tekken, and I'm trying to learn Guilty Gear actually, at the time.
So, for the R update?
Yeah, the R update. And it's not up on PlayStation because for some odd reason it's only on the Japanese store. But it's not out on the US. So I bought it on the Xbox, so I've been playing that. But as for like future fighting game wise, I don't know any like really fighting games. Like that's good that you asked me that because I feel like there's too many fighting games out. And it's saturating the market. And I don't think it's a good thing because it's not like, fighting games, it's not like most of them, like 90% of it, it's not something you pick up and, you play. It's not like, oh, I pick it up and I'm amazing at it. You know what I mean? It like takes time to learn, and I don't think people want to dedicate that much time. There's too many games coming out. And I feel like there's going to be a point where there's going to be a dead point. There's going to be no fighting games coming out. You know what I mean? It's an explosion of fighting games right now. And then there's too many games coming out all at once, and then you got there's a bunch of games, like older games, like Marvel Origins, and who's playing that? They released it at like a really bad time. This year there's been tons of stuff, like if you have Persona, I bought Persona, I liked it, and I played it, Tag 2 came out, I dropped it. That's what happens, like when too many games come out, they get dropped, it's good the first month, maybe even the first week, and that's it. And we live in Cleveland, and no offense to Cleveland, but
we drop games very quickly.
They drop games every 2 weeks, if that. Like Cross Tekken got dropped the same week it came out. But there's games that are good that get dropped, like Tekken. You know, like we used to have a really strong community here. We at one tournament we held, it was like 30 people, and that was only Cleveland people. That's insane. You know, we don't even have like 10 Street Fighter 4 players in Cleveland, like that are, you know, like on a really good level. Like when I say 30 people, these are guys that are like actually pretty good at the game. They just didn't travel that much during that time. But there's too many games out. They need to slow down and release them, make a bigger gap between the games. Like look at Tekken's already dying. You know what I mean? Like today we had at our tournament, we had at the least maybe 12 people, or at the most maybe 12 people. That was it. Maybe with a couple buys in there, so 10. So it's like really bad. I don't think they should release so many fighting games at once. They should give it a little bit of time. Right. They're saturating the market with too many games, and another thing is there's too many tournaments going on. I can't make every tournament. There's so many. Back in the day when I used to travel, there was like the big tournaments you went to, that was it. And then yeah, like little ones here and there. Now there's like, you go on SRK, there's like the event page. There's like tournaments like every freaking like month and week. It's like or bi-weeklies or something. It's crazy. It's too many events going on.
That's why you like console combat. That's
yeah, because when we started console combat, for those that don't know, there was a time where we stopped doing it for like maybe like a couple months because like we did it bi-weekly, and like I don't know, I think it's like people didn't have the time. You know, people have, you know, I have a life outside of games. I'm like really busy with school. So people have work and school, and then like people get burnt out. People want to show up every other week to play games here. So that was one of the, I think that hurt the community a little bit. We're doing events too often, and like, you know, you want to come out and support your scene, but you can't make everything. You know, you have your priorities, and that's like part of the reason why when there's a bunch of tournaments going on, like, you know, Cincinnati does Ranbats, Pittsburgh does Ranbats, I can't make them. I wish I could, but I can't, because I don't have the time. I only go to big tournaments. So the next tournament was supposed to be NEC, and I can't even make that. So the next tournaments that I plan on going to are definitely not MLG. If they do MLG, I'm going to go to it too, because I've never been to MLG. I'm going to go to Final Round and EVO. Next year, big tournaments. But if I find the time to go to other ones, I'll try it. Because I love the fighting game scene. You know, I've been in it longer than the guys that started console combat. Well, Matt, because Matt, I think, started with Street Fighter 4. And I've been playing since Tekken 3. I've been going to tournaments since Tekken 3. I was like 14, 15, going to Canada for tournaments. I wasn't even old. My parents would even let me go sometimes. I would just go. So it was like, it was a good experience playing, you know, and meeting a bunch of people. And I'm still friends with everyone.
Now what about the community? You think the community is feeling the bad end of this whole saturation? All of this going on at one time?
Yeah, because
KOF came out, and then
like KOF and Ultimate Marvel came out like the same month. And like, today we had 4 people for KOF. 4? So round robin.
Wow.
We had a round robin. So like, if you look at this month compared to when we started up again, it's been getting smaller and smaller. DOA never even got a chance to have a tournament here. There's only like 2 people who signed up for it. Virtua Fighter had 1 good month, and then that was it. But
the month it came out.
Yeah,
I was here.
We had 2 tournaments. There was like 16 people the first time, and then after that there was only 8. So yeah, I think the saturation's like really hurting it. There's so many games. Everyone's like, oh, I want to try this game and this game and this game, and then no one tries it because they're like, either they get discouraged that it's hard, or they don't have the time, or you know, whatever their reason may be. And then Darkstalkers is coming out, and everyone is going to be like, oh, I love Darkstalkers. I'm like, you know, I want to learn it, and then when it comes out, it drops. They don't learn it. Right. That's what's going to happen. That's the reality of it. You know, that's how every game's been. Marvel Origins, I don't even know anyone that plays it. 2 old ass games. Nobody plays it.
I have both of the discs. I'm not even gonna buy that.
Yeah,
that's no support because it's already happening.
Yeah, so I like me, like I'll buy the game, you know, but you know, they got their money from me. But as far as taking it serious, there's no point of me taking it serious because no one else is around. And I'm definitely not gonna travel for a Marvel Origins tournament anymore. It's like, it was dead on arrival. It's like Marvel 1 is not a game you want to take seriously because it's like super broken and just ugly at a high level. It's like, you don't want to see that shit. It's like Strider, Wolverine, Red Venom, Gold War Machine.
And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. don't get me wrong, it's a good game, like for fun. But as far as taking it serious, that shit gets ugly, man.
Too many infinites. Too many.
Yeah, it's really it's a totally different game from Marvel 2. Like Marvel 2, even though they got the top 4, they're hard. Like they're not all the characters are easy to play. Like you look at guys that play MSP, no one can just pick up Marvel 2 and be like, oh, I watched the video like Yipes or something, and I can do that because that takes years of practice to just reach that kind of level. For any any fighting game, most of them you don't just pick them up and play. Like Tekken is like pretty complicated. Like Tag 2. I think playing Tag 2 has only even made it harder for newer players to play it because now there's a ton of characters and then you have the tag mechanic and people are like, I don't want to play the tag, I want to just play solo. You know, because when you use solo, you take part of the depth away from the game when you play solo. That's just my opinion, you know. Other people might not agree with me, but take it how you want it. That's the fact. That's what it is.
I agree with you on that. Playing solo takes out half of the game. You don't even learn half of the game playing solo. You can't.
And when you play 2 characters, you're learning, you're learning more about the game because you're learning 2 different characters. And most people are like, I can only play 1 character. Learning 2 characters actually benefits you because then you can play 2 characters. Say, like Tekken 7 comes out, it's not a tag game, it's a solo game. You already know 2 characters from the new game, so you're familiar with it. You know how people are. The people are lazy. So they just want to learn like the easiest thing in the game and try to abuse it. You know, like scrubby people are like that.
Now, say Tekken 7 was to come out, what would you want to change from Tekken 6 to Tag?
They should, like the crush system, they're not going to take it out, but they should do something about some of the moves. Because there's some moves that are too strong. Like, there's moves that are crush moves and they're launchers. Those moves like that should be a little more unsafe. Right now, like, most of the cast can only like jab. Like, say there's hop kicks. Most people can't really punish those. They can only do like minus 11, 10 or 11 frame moves. Like jabs or like Zuya and me. Like Devil Jin can do like back 1-2. But that's like, those are exceptions. I know characters have tools like that. And then the risk is like so low. You block my hop kick, like as long as your back's not near a wall. If you do it out in the open, it's like you get knocked down and take a ground hit, you get back up and like you're fine. But if you're playing like if you're just doing hop kicks, people are running into them. Dude, hop kicks are like retarded. They do so much damage if you got rage. It can end around and get hit by a hop kick. So that's the biggest complaint with the newer tech, the hop kicks and the crush system. But I feel like, you know, as much as people want to change the crush system, I don't think it's going to change that much. And Tekken 7, if it does come out, like, if you look at Tekken 6 to Tag 2, it's not really a big departure from, you know, like if you look at Tekken 4 was the biggest change, and then they went back to the old style of the game, which is, you know, with Tekken 4 you couldn't even backdash, and like the movement was totally different, and it wasn't really about doing juggles. It was about poking and spacing. Unless you're in like arena and you can do an infinite with some of the characters, like Zika, like Easy Infinite. It played totally different. There was like a wall push. There was no left. The left throw was a wall push. And you can push them in different directions. But I feel like if Tekken doesn't change, like I don't want it to change, because for me, and I'm fine with the way it is. If Tekken 7 played similar to Tag 2, I don't care, because I love the way it plays. If they change it, but I feel like they have to change it a little bit more for it to be successful. You know what I mean? Like, look at the way Street Fighter is. Like, it's not gonna have the explosion like Street Fighter's gonna have. They don't change it a little bit. You know, it's gonna need a little more change than, oh, it's a tag game. This tag's already been done. And when people see Tekken, they always complain about, oh, it's just the same thing, juggles and air. So they're gonna have to do some kind of change. I don't know what it is, because I like having a ton of moves for my characters. I like how complicated it is. I like how it's really hard. You know, just moving around in the game is hard. So I like that. I like the learning curve of the game, and I'd rather they keep it that way. But for games now to make money, you got to dumb the game down. There has to be something, like a comeback mechanic, you know, or something flashy. Because that's like part of the reason Virtua Fighter's not popular. There's no comeback mechanics, anything.
Just pure technique.
Yeah, and Tekken, I think the next one, they have to change it. They want it to be successful. Like, they want, like, mass appeal. Because like right now, like they did a really good job advertising the game and, you know, getting all like DLC characters, but I don't think in this community a lot of people bought the game, besides, you know, the regulars that play it. But I don't know about Tekken 7. We'll see. I'm not exactly sure what they're gonna do, but I hope they don't change it too much. I don't hope they don't add like a super bar or something, because then that's not even Tekken anymore.
Like Soul Calibur?
Yeah, like I guess they implemented it okay, but I feel if
it wasn't necessary.
The only thing I don't like about Soul Calibur, they dumbed down the move list. You know, like the character, like Mr. Ruby, you only use like 5 moves with him. He's ridiculous. He doesn't, like, he's a really good character, but he's like super boring to use. You know what I mean? They took a lot of his stuff away. They took like one of his stances away. I don't know. I don't really play Soul Calibur, but that's like the first thing I noticed when I picked the game up, that they dumbed the characters down. Like Ivy, you can't even do the whip stances anymore.
Exactly.
Like I noticed all this stuff that they changed with the characters. They didn't even play like they're like the Soul Calibur 4 counterpart. They were like brand new characters. Yeah, I hope Tekken doesn't change a lot. I like the way it is.
Last question. How do you feel on DLC when it comes to fighters? Do you think Capcom is messing up like everyone else does, and Namco is going the right route by giving us the characters for free?
I don't think you should pay for characters, because if you go to a tournament and they allow the characters and you never bought them, then you're screwed. Because you're like, what do I do against this character? Whether you watch the video, okay, you watch the video, but watching a video and then playing against it's totally different. You know what I mean? So I feel like they shouldn't charge for characters. They should charge for like extra stuff, like, oh, you want to, you know, like alternate music or costumes, like the fluff on a game. But if it comes to characters and it affects the scene, like Cross Tekken, I was like, I'm pretty sure they allow those characters, right?
Yeah.
Do they allow those characters at tournaments? I would think so. I was like, why would they make them if they didn't?
Right.
So you go to a tournament, you fight someone that uses like Jack or well, yeah, they do, because I know just Wong, he plays with Cody, and like Gamer B, he's Jack. So if you never bought those characters and you like the game, but you didn't want to pay like however much it is, then you're screwed if you go to a tournament. You're unfamiliar. That's why I like Tekken. They just released everyone free. But on Tekken, a lot of those characters play similar to their, you know, like you have Bob and Slim Bob and all that, and those characters, they're actually like kind of worse than their original versions. So
it's not game breaking.
No, none of the characters. The Tekken Tag 2 is like really balanced. Like even the characters that are like pretty bad, you could probably get away with some wins with them. Like you can win with any character. That's what's so fun about the game. Like when someone asks me, what's tiers for this game? Even if there's tiers, you can play any character and be good with them. It all comes down to the player and not some garbage that's in the game. You know, like Mishimas, everyone's like, oh, they're top tier. When's the last time you heard of a Mishima winning a tournament? Probably in Tag 2, I haven't seen one Mishima player win a tournament outside of Korea. So tiers on that game really don't make a difference. You can get really good and you can beat people with your favorite characters. You can even freaking play Mokujin if you wanted to and win. You know everyone. But as far as DLC, I don't think they should charge for characters. If it's characters, don't charge for it. Everything, all the other extra stuff like costumes, I don't know, whatever else they might put, like some modes that are unnecessary, like if people just want to play it for fun, play it, pay for it. I don't care, as long as I have access to everybody. There's no problem.
Well, this is Alan, GovPancakes, reporting for Little Taco Gamer. This is Ed, 50Yeeen Garcia, and I'll see you guys later.